The United States of America has faced many challenges and hardships in its history. The biggest challenge was trying to preserve the Union. In 1860 and 1861, 11 states, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida, broke away from the Union to create the Confederate States of America. Traitors!
Darn tootin' racists.
Wait a minute. Kentucky, don't you have slaves? The rest of the country saw the Southern states' secession as a threat to their stability, and even worse, other powers, the British for example, could come back for their scraps. So the North decided to fight back, igniting the Civil War. The effects of the many battles during the Civil War were major, and each one decided the tide of the war during said specific period. But there was one battle, a battle that boosted the morale of the North and crushed the military prowess of the South. This was the Battle of Gettysburg. There are 5 parts to the Battle of Gettysburg. The scramble marked the beginning of the Battle of Gettysburg, with both Confederate and Union troops moving away from Fredericksburg, Virginia. This unorganized movement sparked a few small battles. On June 9, 1863, Union General Pleasonton met with Confederate General J.E.B. Stuart. This resulted in a minor Confederate victory, repelling Pleasonton. These two generals met again on the 17th. General Pleasonton continued to retreat while Stuart marched east of Virginia, straight to Washington, D.C. Even though he couldn't capture the Union capital, Stuart went on to terrorize Maryland, attacking Union lines again and again.
Emotional damage!
Although the scramble was very unorganized, the Confederates were still able to cross the Mason-Dixon line right into Maryland. This event is what started the crossing. Lee was able to move almost all of his men into the north. What did the Union Army do? They did not attack. They only started to
run.
Most of the Union Army left Virginia and went to gather around and in the town of Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. They also probably settled around and in Maryland as well. The crossing and the retreat led up to the Confederates performing the encirclement. The Confederates were able to gobble up multiple towns and cities in southern central Pennsylvania. Some of the Pennsylvanian cities caught up in the crossfire were Chambersburg, Cashtown, and Wrightsville. Meanwhile, the Union Army was preparing for the main event.
Fire in the hole!
The charge, officially known as Pickett's Charge, was the bloodiest sub-battle of the Battle of Gettysburg. Lee decided to go all in with occupying the city.
packing all of the Confederate forces in Pennsylvania into one giant force. Putting General Pickett in charge, he launched them into Gettysburg. The Union, already prepared however, were ready for whatever the Confederates threw at them. And in the end, the preparations actually worked. The Confederates had to retreat due to heavy losses, losing about 6,600 men during the first hour of the charge. In the end, the Battle of Gettysburg resulted in an enormous waste of both manpower and resources for the Confederacy. Lee made very sloppy moves during the battle, especially when there was a point where he couldn't ever win. Soon, it wouldn't be long until the Union's top generals would come crashing down on Lee, resulting in the total collapse of the Confederacy.